Hello, good people. If you're here for a draft profile of Ollie Gordon, click the video linked here or in the description below. If you're here for a film room to see the detail that goes into a profile of Ollie Gordon, stay right here. This run play is a very simple counter play, so this guard is going to pull and kick out this backside blocker. This tight end is going to pull, and Ollie is going to have to follow the tight end. Where the tight end's butt goes is where Ollie goes. So when Ollie gets the ball, just has nice patience to wait for the blocks to develop, has nice burst upfield, just gets a huge gain. This is blocked pretty well, but Ollie's speed turns this into a 50-plus yard play. Really obviously solid blocking by everybody here, and he just goes the distance on this thing. So when everything is blocked up really well, he can hit you a home run. I am Tim Noonan. I've been a football fan for the last 20 years and a fan of scouting college players for the last 8 years. And today I'll be doing an in-depth look at the game of Ollie Gordon, running back out of Oklahoma State, one of the top 3 running backs in this draft class. And I'll get into a little bit of where I think he stacks up in this draft class. But looking into his game, there's a few areas that I want to highlight in this video. So the first area that I want to highlight is just his burst and his long speed. He has the speed to go and break 70-yard runs with regularity, and he has the burst that once his blocks are set up, he can go steal 7 yards on any given play. We'll look at where he wins on gap scheme plays, where his gap is designed before the ball is snapped, and we'll look at zone run plays, where he has to kind of read through different options and make a decision based on what the defense is doing. In both of these styles of plays, he wins. His burst, his speed, and his vision set him up well. The second area of his game that I want to look at is his ability to catch out of the backfield. I think he's a very strong receiver, and a very strong part of his game is just his ability to transition from being a receiver to being a ball carrier quickly to get yards after the catch. And in the third section of the video, I'll just highlight a limitation of his game, which is just his power. He's not a weak player by any stretch of the imagination. He has good balance, but he is not necessarily a thumper that you can just go give the ball to on 3rd and 1 and expect him to bowl over a linebacker. So without further ado, we'll get into the first part of his game, his burst, his long speed, and his ability just to take advantage of defenses when they give him an inch. He takes it a mile. So on this play, just obviously see he hits the edge quickly, gets downfield very, very fast. So what we're seeing here is defense gets sucked inside. He hits the edge and just is off to the races. Number 18, kudos to him for catching up here. But nice touchdown saving tackle. But I mean, you could just see as soon as Gordon sees that defense get pulled all towards the middle of the field here. I mean, he is just off to the races, gets a nice gain downfield. And this is really the threat that you have with him on every single play is once he sees a little bit of a gap, he is going to hit that edge and he's going to be able to take it outside for a really big gain. This next play is more about his burst in the short area. So he follows his blockers on this zone blocking play. And once he sees that a window opens up, he has a nice cutback and he just has strong burst to get upfield, get these yards, create a first down for his offense here. This is a 2nd and 5, so he's just got to go get 5 yards, right? Manipulates the defense, takes that right step, and then just jets upfield. And one thing that is nice to see for his vision here is that he is mostly in this run play, he's going to be looking for what this linebacker is doing. I believe this is a duo run play, and so if this linebacker dives, then the running back's responsibility is to get outside. So he follows this linebacker dives, so he's just going to go away from that gap and get upfield. Even if this isn't duo, if this is just inside zone, then what he's reading here is just where's the cutback lane, and he reads that pretty well and gets burst upfield. So I'm not 100% sure what the scheme is, what the design is, but either way, there's 2 potential plays that could be going on here, and in either of them, he's making the right read, keying on that linebacker, putting a foot in the dirt where there's gaps, and just getting upfield. This run play is a very simple counter play, so this guard is going to pull and kick out this backside blocker. This tight end is going to pull, and Ollie is going to have to follow the tight end. Where the tight end's butt goes is where Ollie goes. So when Ollie gets the ball, Just has nice patience to wait for the blocks to develop. Has nice burst upfield. Just gets a huge gain. This is blocked pretty well, but Ollie's speed turns this into a 50-plus yard play. Really, really obviously solid blocking by everybody here, and he just goes the distance on this thing. So when everything is blocked up really well, he can hit you a home run. And even when everything isn't blocked up perfectly, he can still make a home run happen. The offense has an outside zone to the left here. Outside zone is just a run concept where the offense shifts to one side of the field, and then it's up to the running back to kind of flow with the offensive line and then decide which of the offensive linemen to run behind. So this number 73 gets blown up a little bit here, pushed into the backfield. Ollie still makes it work, and has the ability to get past all these Kansas defenders for a touchdown. So just nice ability here, obviously, just to put a foot in the dirt, get behind that offensive lineman, not let that defensive lineman get a hand on him, and just run away from all these defenders for a touchdown. Against Houston in 2023, we see a similar outside zone to the left. Follows the blockers, sees the cutback lane here, skirts right past that defensive lineman, leaves 92 on the ground for a touchdown. And just, again, nice ability to put a foot in the dirt, get upfield very quickly, has nice balance there. Whether he's going for a 30-yard gain or whether you just need him to get 6 yards, Gordon's vision is really strong, and his vision and patience just allow him to make the most of the speed and the burst that he has in his game. The second area that I was really impressed with Gordon was his hands. Statistically, he matches up pretty similarly to Quinshon Judkins as a receiver. Gordon had this game in 2023 where he torched Kansas for over 100 yards. And when you take that game out, Gordon's statistics look a lot like Judkins, but obviously it still matters that Gordon can go and torch a team like Kansas to the tune of 100 yards. What I really appreciate about Gordon's game is just how quickly he transitions from being a receiver to being a ball carrier. His head gets around quickly. He's moving upfield. He can follow his blockers on screen plays. He can move through traffic when there's defenders in front of him as a receiver. He's not just a guy who you can release underneath for 3 yards and then he's just going to stay with that 3 yards. He is always turning and running and getting yards upfield as a receiver. So against Kansas, they open the game with this screenplay, and again, I mean, he torches this team on this opening play. Just that vision, speed, burst, all that we saw in the first section, that is all here. But what I want to highlight here is once he gets the ball in his hands, how quickly he turns his head around and he is upfield. That ball is secured. He's surveying the blockers and he's just following the play. So when you draft Gordon, you are getting a guy who is not only a threat in the backfield, he is a threat as a receiver out of the backfield. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that was a designed screenplay to open the game against a Kansas team that probably wasn't ready for it. So what happens in a more realistic situation that Gordon is going to see in the NFL? Well, on this play against Texas in 2023, the offense has the play breakdown. He finds himself 15 yards downfield so that his quarterback can scramble and just drop the ball off for a first down. I like the awareness here. Tries to get a chip on the blocker. Doesn't exactly work, but he just keeps working downfield, gets himself open, and that's a nice gain of like 17 yards on a big third down. So something else sort of intangibly that I think this highlights with Gordon too is that he really is a competitor. There were times when Oklahoma State would not be producing, when the offense would be missing easy blocks, or they would be making some questionable play calls, and he'd come back to the sideline frustrated, like not in a way where he's lashing out at people, but you could just see he's not happy with losing. And when he's hurt, he's always trying to get back onto the field. So this shows up in all parts of his game, even on a 3rd and 10 when you need him to improvise to go and get 17 yards against a Texas team who was having a crazy first quarter against Oklahoma State last year. Back to the game against Kansas, we see him have this nice one-handed catch. And again, just smoothly transitions to becoming a ball carrier, has nice balance here, is able to kind of like work around those tacklers. And I just like the flair of the one hand, you know. And again, just smoothly transitions. Just really, really solid play to create a first down for the offense. And closing out the receiving section, we'll just see him get split out as a wide receiver here. This is on a third down. Has just a nice little in route. Quarterback hits him in stride. He creates a ton of separation and almost gets a touchdown here. So no matter what you're doing with Ollie Gordon in the pass game, you could split him out as a receiver. You could throw him in the backfield as a release valve. He's going to produce. He's going to get you yards in the pass game. And to close out the video, I'll just highlight one limit to his game, which is his power. He's not going to be Derrick Henry. He's not going to be Marshawn Lynch. He is more of a shifty, speedy receiver who I still think is a 3-down back. He's just not a 3-down power back. If you want him to pick up a first down on a 3rd and 4, you're not just going to be able to run him into a gap and assume that he can beat a linebacker one-on-one. You got to give him some space to work with, some ability to make a read, to use his vision, and to manipulate defenses with one step so he can go another way and make the most of his speed there. Against Texas in this goal-to-go situation last year, just see him gets thrown into a gap and falls forward. You know, it's a 1st and goal, but he isn't really able to push anyone back. He's not able to get much closer to the goal line. So again, he's not that power back kind of player. You need to give him some kind of space to work with, whether it's on a zone play or if you're going to have a gap scheme run, you need lead blockers to kind of help him generate some of that power. Again, against Texas, another goal-to-go situation. We just see a very similar play where he does end up running into one of his blockers, which not ideal when your tight end isn't getting out to that lead block in time. But even still, there is a little bit of space that comes open in the middle of the field, and would just like to see him be able to create a little bit more power to get closer to the goal line here. Against Oklahoma on a 3rd and 2, he tries to hit the edge and beat this linebacker one-on-one, and is just tackled right about a yard short of the first down marker. Falls forward and it looks close, but when he makes contact, you can see he hits the ground here about a yard short. So he falls forward and it looks closer, but he's a full yard behind. I don't think it's ever going to be a feature of his game to bowl over linebackers, and I think that's fine. You just have to know that if your team is drafting him, just don't expect him to go into a gap and destroy a linebacker to get a first down. And against Oklahoma, again, very similar. Just is not able to push for that first down marker on a 3rd and 2. This is just an inside zone run, so he reads the gap. The defense has all their guys accounted for, and there's a player in every gap on this play, and so all that Ollie can do is try to force a first down by putting a shoulder into somebody. And he just doesn't have that power. That's not what makes him a top end player. What makes him a top end player is that speed, that burst, and then that versatility to be a receiver out of the backfield. So all in all, that's Ollie Gordon. He is a pretty straightforward running back. I think he is a day 2 pick. I think if he has a great season this year, he could make himself an end of the 1st round, early 2nd round player. But I think he most likely ends up a late 2nd round player. He's got great speed. He makes good decisions. He follows his blockers. He just checks the boxes that you want for a starting running back in the NFL. So if you want to see a full video breakdown, again, check the link in the video below. That video will just have my profile more on what I think of him as a complete player, but overall, really solid receiving back. And he's also a great running back when he has to read through and find those gaps in more messy situations. If you like the video, make sure to take a second to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so that you know the next time I'm on here talking about football at the pro or college level. Next week, I will be back with a breakdown of Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe ahead of his game against the University of Georgia. So make sure to check for that, and have a good day. Peace.